everyone, and I welcome you all to my channel. So for today we are going to making a simple video on how to cut off shoulder bustier. Okay, so this is one of the most requested topics after when I taught you guys how to cut a bustier. Most of you requested for me to show you guys a video on how to cut off shoulder bustier. So here am I today doing that as you guys have asked for. Okay, so all you have to do is to give this video a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. If you find this video very educative, that is the only way you can support me. Okay, so what are the basic measurements required for this off shoulder bustier? We need our shoulder measurements, bust measurements, waist measurements and our half length. Okay, now so our shoulder measurement is 14 inches divided by 2, we have 7 inches. Our bust divided by 4, we have 9 inches, plus 2 inches sewing allowance, we have 11 inches. Our waist divided by 4, we have 8, plus 2 inches, we have 10 inches. And our half length plus 1 inch, we have 17 inches. So basically these are the basic measurements required to cut an off shoulder bustier. Okay, and one thing I also want you guys to take note of before we move to the fabric is to determine how many inches you want it to be off. Okay, so there is no standard measurement or a standard basic for it. It only depends on how off you want it to be. So let's say you want it to just be little off like this, you can make use of, let's say, 3 inches or 2.5 depending. But if you want it to be normal off, you can make it like 4 inches, and if you want it to be very off, you can make it like 5 inches. So basically there is no standard measurement for it. It just depends on how you want it to be. Okay, now don't forget to join us on Facebook, Sewing is Fun by Two Designs, and you can also register for our training, online training. I'm going to put down the details down below. And don't forget to support my channel. We've discussed this earlier on in one of our previous videos. Support our channel to be able to get fabrics and styles. Okay, so when some of you request for a particular style, you guys know it requires fabric and a lot, and as you can see, we are doing that for you already. So support my channel. I'm going to put the patrons accounts down below for you to show your gratitude if you want to. Okay, so I think that is all. So now let's move to the fabric. So this is the African print I'm making use of. So the first thing we have to do is to mark our basic measurements. Okay, now I will advise you to watch my previous video on how to take your body measurements. That was why I explained basically all the body measurements. So this is our shoulder. From your shoulder to your bust to your nipple, shoulder to your nipple is 10 inches plus half inch for the sewing allowance. We have 10.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to mark 10.5 inches. Now from your shoulder to your nipple is 10 inches, right? Shoulder to under bust is 13 inches plus half inch, we have 13.5 inches. Okay, so this is our under bust line, 13.5 inches. So this is our under bust line, and this is our waist measurement. So we have under bust, this is our under bust. I'm just painting it so you guys can see it. This is our bust measurement, under bust measurement, waist, these are our waist measurement. Of course I'm going to cut out this part. So this is our waist measurement, and this is our shoulder measurement. Okay, now the first thing we have to do now, after when you've identified your basic measurements, this is your nipple, this is your under bust, this is your waist measurement, now you have to take your breast points. Now what do I mean by breast points? Breast point simply means distance from one nipple to the other nipple. So let's say for me is about 8 inches divided by 2, I have 4 inches, divided by 2, I have 4 inches. So I'm going to add half inch because I'm going to be sewing it. So I have 4.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 4.5 inches all the way down. So this is my 4.5 inches. I hope you guys can see it. So this is my 4.5 inches. So I marked my 4.5 inches up to my nipple measurement. Okay, now for my shoulder measurement, I'm going to mark 5 inches. Why am I marking 5 inches at my shoulder measurement? Why? Basically because I just want the up part to have like that's it. If your nipple to nipple is 4 inches, add 1 inch when you're marking it on top. Now because this is an off shoulder, right, let's determine how many inches we want it to be off. This is our basic measurement. Our basic measurement is 16 inches, abi, plus our sewing allowance we have 17 inches. Now let's determine how many inches do you want it to be off. So let's say I want about 4 inches off. Okay, so this is my 4 inches. This is my 4 inches. So I'm going to cut away this point away. I'm going to cut out this point. So let me fold it so you guys will be able to understand it. Can you see? This is the inches we took away. So you can cut it off. So now I've cut off the 4 inches, right? Now what we did was your normal measurement is 16 inches. Now determine how many inches you want to take off. Now we took about 4 inches off. So this is the 4 inches. I've cut it away. So 4 inches, this is it. So by the time you minus your 4 inches from your basic measurement, you have 14 inches. So let's say 14 plus 4 inches, you have 18 inches. Do you understand that? So don't forget, this is our nipple measurement, under bust, and our waist measurement, and this becomes our shoulder measurement. Okay, now let's mark our shoulder. Okay, let's do the shoulder so that you guys will be able to understand it. We took our breast point here to be 4.5 inches. Now I said for the shoulder line, increase it by 1 inch. Okay, so let's say you marked 5 inches here. For your shoulder line, you are going to mark 6 inches. So I'll just connect this line together like this. Okay, I hope you guys can see it. So I'll just connect this line together like this. Okay, so after that, the next thing we have to do now is to mark from this your nipple measurement. This your nipple measurement. The reason why it's not advisable to mark at your nipple measurement is because that area is supposed to be curved to give you this bustier shape. Okay, so what you have to do is to mark 1 inch below your nipple measurement, 1 inch below your nipple measurement, and you mark 1 inch above your nipple measurement. So mark 1 inches above and 1 inch below. Don't mark at this point except you want it to bulge out, and which is not going to give you a very nice result. Okay, so mark 1 inch above, 1 inch below. Now what we have to do next now is to take our basic measurement. Okay, now after that, for your under bust, take 1.5 inches or 1/4 depending. So let's take 1/4 inch, and at this point you also take 1/4 inch. Okay, I hope you guys understand it, but feel free to drop your questions down below. So after when you've marked your 1/4 inch on your under bust measurement, come to your waist measurement and mark 1 inch. Come to your waist measurement and mark 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch on both sides. So what we did here was, this is what we did here. Okay, for your waist measurement, mark 1 inch on both sides. So you have 1 inch at this point, 1 at this point. For your under bust measurement, take 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch. And for this your nipple, come down with 1 inch so that you won't have a bulge place. So this is the markings of what you are going to have. So you just connect it like this. Can you see it? Okay, I hope it's clear enough. Can you guys see it now? Okay, so what we just did was, at this point you connect it to your 1/4 inch down to your 1 inch. At this point, connect it to your 1/4 inch down to your 1 inch. Okay, so after when you've done that, this is what you are going to have at this down part. Now for the upper part, mark 1 inch at this upper part. Mark 1 inch at your shoulder measurement. Mark 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch on both sides. So when you are done with your 1 inch on both sides, you connect it to this line above. Connect it to this line above your nipple measurement. So let's do that. We are going to connect it. So this is what we have. Okay, now this area where we have 1 inch above and 1 inch below, make it a round shape. Make it a round shape, okay, because that is where your bust measurement is going to be. So let me just explain what we did here again. We marked our nipple measurement to be 10 inches, our under bust and our waist measurements. Now from your bust measurement, take 1 inch above, 1 inch below. Okay, so when you are done with that, for your under bust, mark 1.5 inches on both sides, and for your waist measurement, mark 1 inch on both sides. Now you connect it to the 1 inch below your bust measurement. Now for the shoulder measurement, mark 1 inch on both sides and connect it to this 1 inch above your bust measurement. So after when you've done that, now let's take the basic measurement. Okay, so our shoulder measurement is 7 inches. We are going to mark 7 inches at this point. 7 inches, right? Now because we have 2 inches here that we've marked, 1 inch at this point, 1 inch at this point to give us a total of 2 inches, right? So you add that 2 inches back. You add the 2 inches back. Now for our shoulder measurement, we have 4 inches outside. You have 4 inches outside, and our armhole measurement is 9 inches. So this is where we have our armhole measurement. Don't forget your 4 inches that is outside. This is where we have our armhole measurement. Okay, now our bust measurement is 11 inches. We have 11 inches for the bust measurement. You mark 11 inches for this bust measurement. 11 inches. Now these inches that we have at this point, add 3. These inches that we have here, 1 inch. This 11 inches is plus our sewing allowance, so just add extra 1 inch. So we are having a total of 3 inches for our sewing allowance. Now for the waist measurement, our waist measurement is 10 inches. So you mark your 10 inches. 10 inches plus this 3 inches we have here, add your 3 inches back. So basically all the inches you have at this point you are going to cut off. After marking your basic measurement, you add the inches back. So for this 11 inches, we have our sewing allowance to be 2 inches. So I added the 1 inch we took at this point. Now for this point, we have 2 inches. I added the 2 inches. So now you just draw your armhole in a slant form. So let me just cut it out. If you find this video very educative and very informative, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe, okay? And don't forget to support our channel. Please support us. We have Patreon's account. Join us for online training. I'm going to put down all the details down below. Now when you are covering this bust line, you have to be very careful, okay? So you make sure you have this curved shape. Yeah, so this is what you are going to have now. You can see it that this area is curved. It's not pointed at all. You can see it. So you open it up. This is what you are going to have. So after joining it, you can now get the deepness of your blouse. After joining it, you can now get the deepness of your neckline. So you can see this is very easy. So if you find this video very educative, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. So this is it. You just join it together. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.